Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we are diving into a real world issue that many FortiSOAR administrators face. When Playbooks suddenly stop working and you start seeing internal server error pages. The root cause, an expired SSL certificate that breaks communication between internal FortiSOAR components like nginx, gunicorn, and dash. In this video, I will walk you through the symptoms, log analysis, and the exact steps to regenerate and renew your FortiSOAR certificate so your playbooks start running smoothly again. Let's begin. FortiSOAR playbooks not working due to certificate or due to various internal errors, and you might see multiple issues related to the internal server errors. So what I got reported by different users is like users may experience internal server errors while accessing the FortiSOAR application at multiple places when trying to access playbooks, connectors, records, etc., which can happen if the internal certificate has expired. So when you observe this slowness or when you observe that playbooks are not being executed, if you check the logs, you will be able to see like you are getting internal server error or check prod.log for detail. So these are like various symptoms that you might observe. So you will observe like internal server errors while accessing application at different places. You might see these kind of errors under your playbook history or playbook execution logs, exception message, internal server error, check log, prod.log for more details. Or you will see internal server error, check log, prod.log for more details. So these kind of logs you will be getting under the FortiSOAR. Now, when you get this prod.log, where this file is stored. So if you want to verify the logs in detail, you should know the path of this prod.log file on the FortiSOAR. This prod.log file is stored under /var/log and then cyops. Okay, on the next page I will tell you the exact path. Now when you get these logs, you can see something like this on the GUI, internal server errors. Whenever you try to access any pages, for example queues or playbooks or any other GUI pages, different GUI pages, you will receive this kind of internal server error, check log, prod.log. These kind of issues you will keep on getting. And if you check the logs like the prod.log itself, there you will be able to find the issue SSL certificate problematic or certificate is expired. So these kind of logs you will observe. Now if you want to verify the prod.log, where you have to do or what is the path to the file is where log cyops-api and prod.log. So if you do a tail to this prod.log, you will be able to see what exactly is causing these internal server errors. And once you are able to identify the internal server error exact reason, that means we should be able to fix it, right? So to fix or to know more about the issue in detail, you need to check the prod.log file. Tail this file prod.log, then you will be able to see the exact cause. So what you have to do is you have to simply tail to the file. You know all the Linux command tail -f/var log cyops. So you just have to follow this path. So either you can do a tail, more, or cat, or vi. You can use any of your favorite method, but tail is something which tells you only the last few lines from the file, which is helpful. Otherwise the file may be a big file or if you have historical logs, so better to use tail or more as well. So these like you can use, or you can use a vi editor to view this file. So once you do tail and prod.log, you will be able to see what exactly is under that prod.log. For example, I am showing here internal server error, check prod.log for more details. And when I did the tail to the file, I can see unable to load API credentials from cache or dash. So this is also one of the symptoms, like the dash is the service for authentication and serving the different web pages. So this part is failing. Okay, and if you check the second part here, certificate problem, certificate has expired. And most of the time under the certificates you will receive this curl hex.se and certificate has expired. So this is like one of the sample log or problematic log. Now how to verify if your certificate is actually expired on FortiSOAR? So for that you can use the OpenSSL command. You know, OpenSSL is a utility on the Linux that can get or show you the certificates in a X509 certificate in a text format. So when you do OpenSSL and grab the note after keyword from the certificate, you will be able to see the validity of the certificate or the expiry date of the certificate. On the FortiSOAR, where are the certificates stored? Certificates are stored under /etc PKI, CA trust, source, anchors, and this is the path of the certificate, cs.loc.root.crt. So this certificate, if you open with OpenSSL command and grep or not after, you will be able to see the expiry date of the certificate that is being used by FortiSOAR and causing the issue. Now, why it impacts or how this certificate can impact, let's talk more about that. So FortiSOAR is running a nginx web server. Okay, nginx web server and a Apache Tomcat. So these are the two web servers that are running on FortiSOAR. Okay, now, and there are some other services, cyops. So all the services on a FortiSOAR which are with reference or which are specifically for the FortiSOAR, they are by the name cyops. So you know what is cyops? Cyops, they have given an abbreviation to cyber operation. So on your FortiSOAR appliance, if you see any services by the name cyops, so they are for FortiSOAR. So cyops is cyber operations. So you will be able to see multiple services like cyops-api, cyops-auth, cyops-ha. So all those services are related to FortiSOAR. And FortiSOAR uses these certificates for the communication between the web server and different services and the database. So this certificate is being used for your web server on the nginx and the internal communication between these services. So once the certificate is expired or not valid, then the communication between these internal services stops, and even you might face issue in the login because the login or the web frontend is also served by the nginx web server. So that's why we have to verify the certificate and renew the certificate. As I explained, FortiSOAR uses nginx as its primary web server and reverse proxy. What it does, like web server, nginx handles the incoming HTTP request to the FortiSOAR web interface, and APIs are handled by cyops-api. It proxies these requests to the gunicorn application server, which runs the Python-based backend. So there is a gunicorn which is running a like Python-based backend for handling other FortiSOAR functions. So the configuration file of these web servers resides under like /etc/nginx. Similarly for gunicorn under cyops and API nginx. So all the configuration file mainly under /etc. Okay. So now you understood, like, because web server requires a certificate, the communication between the internal services uses this certificate. So we have to renew the certificate for the internal communication to work and to uh, allow or to serve all the pages. So we should verify the certificate that is being used. nginx is having a configuration or which points to the certificate file under its nginx.conf file, and from here, but even this nginx.conf certificate is pointing to the same location as I told here, like cs.log under anchors. So what it does is the same certificate is being copied to a nginx path as well. I will show you that. If you look at the nginx configuration file, you will see SSL certificate /etc nginx SSL server.lib. So this is your web server certificate that is configured. Okay, and this certificate is same as the source/anchor. So whenever you renew a certificate, like the same certificate is updated here as well. So based on the configuration, if you do a cd nginx SSL, so these are the certificate chain or certificate key for the nginx. Okay, and this nginx certificate also gets updated in this path etc pki trust source anchors. So whenever you do a renew of the certificate, you will see the modified date of this file 1391/1242. Same you will see here also, like these files are also modified on the same time, April 22 2042. So basically these files get synced or gets modified when the certificate is renewed. So now hope you understood why the certificate impacts. So certificate impacts because this is being used by the web server and for all SSL communication or intercommunication between the different services that are running on FortiSOAR for handling and serving the API queries and running the playbook execution. Now, how to fix? So now we are discussing about the solution. Okay, what is the solution of this problem? Solution of the problem is to regenerate the certificate. So you have to use the command sudo csadm certs --generate. So this tells like you have to generate a new certificate and specify the host name. So host name will be your FortiSOAR host name. For example, FortiSOAR1.rosatechno.com. So this host name should be a FQDN, fully qualified domain name, host name of your machine. So once you define this under the csadm certs generate command, your new certificate will be generated and which will get updated wherever it's required. This command might change, like for FortiSOAR 7.2.0 and above, you can use csadm certs. But for versions older than 7.2.0, you have to use this path and then you have to get a shell script. This shell script can be executed, which takes all the steps like generating the certificate, copying them into the required location. All this is done by this shell script. And in 7.2 and above, they have improved and they have just added a single command using csadm certs, which takes care of all the regeneration or the certificate renewal on the FortiSOAR. And now it's our lab time. So during the lab, what we have to do is we have to log into a FortiSOAR instance and Let's try executing the command of certificate generation. Before certificate generation, let me show you what we discussed here. If you go as per the path that I had explained, or the path where the certificate files are stored. Okay, let's first check the prod.log file tail -f /var/log cyops-api prod.log. So when you do a prod.log tail, you will be able to see the logs from the prod.log. My prod.log or the tail -f is not showing anything because my prod.log is empty. It's a lab, so I don't have any logs for now. Let me show you by doing /var/log cyops-api, enter, and if you see my prod.log, the file size of the prod.log is 0 bytes. That's why it's not showing any logs there. Okay, but at your production environment, you will be able to see those logs. Now, when you do a csadm cert renew, what exactly happens is okay, before that, let me show you the OpenSSL command, how you have to verify whether your certificate is expired. So what you have to do, you have to use the OpenSSL command that I told you, and it shows us not after April 22, 2027. Because I renewed this certificate yesterday during like creation of this video, I was trying to replicate the issue. So you can see this certificate is valid until 2027. Why it's only showing not after? Because I am performing a grep for not after. If I remove the grep from the OpenSSL command, we will be able to see the full certificate. So you can see the full certificate, and we were just grepping this validity not after from this not after, right? So you can check on your FortiSOAR like when your certificate is expired and you have to renew it. Okay, so that's the OpenSSL command. And once you verify like it's the same cause or certificate is causing the issue, you have to use sudo asdm certs. You have to use sudo csadm certs generate generate and the host name. So what will be my host name? My host name is localhost dot local domain, for example, and enter. So what it does is generating certificate, generating the root certificate, generating like the RSA private key. So it takes care of all the certificate regeneration self-signed, and then it is successfully generated self-signed certificates. Need to restart all services after generating the certificates. It's restarting the services, and once the services are restarted, so you will be able to see the self-signed certificate has been regenerated. And you have to verify after the verification or the regeneration of the certificate whether all your playbooks are working fine, all the web pages are working fine. Verify the playbooks that were getting the error related to prod.log, check prod.log, and verify the logs related to the dash service, which is for the authentication on the FortiSOAR. Hope this will help you for multiple issues related to the internal communication between the services on a FortiSOAR. And I have seen this issue several times, multiple organizations reporting this. So I thought, let me show you how to renew a certificate on FortiSOAR. Let's see if once these services starts, then we should be able to access our FortiSOAR. So if you see, this was my FortiSOAR, and because the services are being restarted, I will not be able to access it for now. Let us check once the service restarts completed. Okay, now it's starting. RabbitMQ. See, as I told you, there is a nginx web server. Okay, there is a PostgreSQL database, PHP. Now all the services are started. Now let's check. Yeah, I can log into FortiSOAR, and you will see the certificate here. The certificate here will be the same localhost.local domain. So because this was a certificate we generated by the csadm certs regenerate. Now I can log in. Hope this helps. Thank you. Thank you. And that's it. You have now learned how to fix FortiSOAR playbook failures caused by expired certificates. Always remember to monitor your SSL certificate validity to prevent unexpected downtimes on the FortiSOAR. If you found this tutorial helpful, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss more Fortinet troubleshooting videos. Thanks for watching. I will see you in the next session.